up in the mountains, my friends, where you can still watch an eagle soar on the wind. And I walk those hills with a smile on my face, and I can't get back to God's saving grace in the mountains.
Welcome back to our Hill to Die On podcast. I am your host, Chase Dowling, and this is what's going on in Forest Hill for the week of July 15th through the 21st of 2026. I hope everybody had a good weekend. I know I did. And I'm running stag, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. Dixie Rays got a basketball tournament in Las Vegas, Nevada, and the whole family went except for me, because I have to work, because my boss is a prick. It's just the way it goes. Anyway, garden's looking good, though. Somebody had to stay home, take care of the garden, and somebody had to stay home and take care of Merle. Who else but me? And if not me, then who? Yeah. Anyway, that's all I'm saying. Anyway, gonna get it right into some things that we got going on this week, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, before we do that, let's get right into, speaking of good weather for tomatoes, this week's Banana Belt weather report. Thanks, Hannah. All right, folks. Hannah sends us another good one here. She says, this week, you may want to keep your toes out of the grass. They're going to be sweaty fast. Today, which is Wednesday, is our hottest day of the week. It will be sunny with an afternoon high of 96. Thursday stays just a touch cooler with a high of 91 and a mix of sunshine and a few passing clouds. Early mornings will still be the most comfortable time to get outside before the afternoon heat settles in. If you have yard work to do this week, the best time will be bright and early. Not right. Bright and early. Friday remains warm, but temperatures drop back into the 80s. Expect mostly sunny skies on Friday and Saturday, but we are looking at another muggy day on Sunday with solid cloud coverage, which isn't bad because it kind of keeps moisture in the air. Fire starts a little harder to do that way. Don't forget that even when it's cloudy out, the UV index will still be very high and sitting at 10 for most of the weekend. You still need to stay in the shade and keep hydrated. Couldn't have said it better myself, Hannah Banana. Couldn't have said it better myself. Get some LMNT in you. Get some of them electrolytes. Let's go. Monday will be slightly more pleasant with a high of 85 and only partially sunny skies. But Tuesday is sitting at 88 with plenty of sunshine. No rain in sight, so continue to use extra caution when spending time outdoors. Your AC is probably going to get work out as we move into this next week. Allergy conditions remain moderate this week. Grass pollen continues to be the biggest culprit, while weeds are becoming more noticeable as the summer progresses. Dry, breezy afternoons may stir up additional dust and pollen, so those with seasonal allergies may notice symptoms most during the morning and early evening hours. So you're going to get those sniffles in, folks, and make sure that you're using long sleeves if you're not trying to get sunburn. Those long thin sleeves is good. And actually, the sun isn't the most terrible thing in the world, ladies and gentlemen. It's where you get your most source of vitamin D. So, not saying that you have to go out and bathe in it and get sunburnt, but get out and get a little bit of sun. Not the worst thing in the world. And that's this week's Banana Belt weather report. All right, moving right along with our calendar for this week. Nothing big, just going to hit on some of the main things. I think we got, of course, Mountain Club's got its stuff going on, Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday. And then there is a yard sale this weekend down on, where is that yard sale at? Yard sale is on Ridgeview. So if somebody wants to go down and check that out, it's kind of some exciting stuff. Not a whole hell of a lot else going on. The Forest Hill Museum is open all the way through September, so don't forget that. And also the dump, ladies and gentlemen. Also the dump. So, gonna hit our birthdays up real quick. We have Amy Birch Galpern, Amber Mudd, yes, that is correct. Linda Skidgel. Who else? Got to look down through the list here. Kylie Marie, Melissa Renee Chapman, Richard Barnes, Alicia Samaniego, and Ashley Grimes, Ashley Christine Paulina Rosa, and I think that's it. So happy birthday from all of us to you. We wish it was our birthday so we could party to Olay! Happy birthday to you all, because that's all the birthdays this week that we have for our friends, because they're all friends of the show. Friends of the show. And if I miss one every now and then, or you got a birthday coming up, comment on the episode. Let us know so we don't miss it, all right? Just saying, if there's a kid you want to give a shout out to, I'll shout out a kid. Because see, what I do for all the birthdays, take my friends list on Facebook, and I search whose birthdays they are. That's whose birthdays I announce on a weekly basis. So if you're not on my friends list, which, pretty possible, or if it's a kid, because they don't have Facebook, message me. I'll give them a shout out. Just let you know, okay? Just saying, all right? So that's going to move us right along into this week's Outdoor Report. Ladies and gentlemen, this week we are going to quickly talk about the good, the bad, and the itchy and annoying. The good comes first. If you're looking to cast a line this week, Donner Lake is on California's trout stocking schedule for this week. That means fresh catchable trout are being added, making now a great time to head up to the summit. Just like we did over the 4th of July weekend. It was beautiful. Okay. Whether you're casting from the shore or launching a boat, anglers should see plenty of action over the next couple of weeks. If you've been needing an excuse to get out and go fishing, this is a pretty good one. Andy. Just saying. Now here comes the bad, the itchy and annoying. Not just this podcast. Just saying. Anyways, mosquito activity is expected to be moderate to high for the remainder of July, especially near rivers, ponds, and reservoirs like the North Fork of the American River, Sugar Pine, and French Meadows. Warm temperatures and standing water are creating prime conditions for mosquitoes around dawn and dusk. This is a good time to bring repellent if you're camping or floating the river. Also, remember to look around your house, because, us here in Forest Hill, we tend to we tend to hoard we're hoarders. We hoard shit, so you got 5-gallon buckets laying around. You got pots outside that have standing water in them still left from the winter, or something, standing water from your gardening or something like that. So make sure you empty the buckets so the flippin' mosquitoes don't reproduce. And if you have a pond, get some mosquito fish. Come on. Now, poison oak is at its peak across the foothills right now. It's lush, green, and thriving along the trails, riverbanks, and shaded roadsides. Remember the saying, leaves of 3, let it be. Even bare stems and dead plants can still contain oil, which is actually called urushiol. How do you, I don't know how to use Urushiol. I did not know that. It's damn freaking poison oak oil, okay? Just saying. So avoid handling any part of the plant if you can, if you have sissy skin. And if you're hiking with dogs, keep in mind that they carry the oil home in their fur, even if they don't get a rash themselves. Very true. Also, of course, you're not going to be doing this time of year, but don't burn the poison oak. It will get into your lungs and you will feel like you're having a heart attack. It's happened to many people up here on the Divide. but don't have to worry about that this time of year. The thing you do have to worry about is chipping. Like if you got a wood chipper and you're tossing a bunch of shit through the chipper, that stuff gets in the air. It will get in your eyes. It's terrible. So just keep your head on a dang swivel. Also, French Meadows is looking fantastic. I did not get a picture of it today, but the water level has barely gone down so far. The lake still looks pretty dang near full, and it's absolutely beautiful. You got ospreys flying around all the time. You got beautiful bald eagles. It's absolutely beautiful, just like everywhere else here on our beautiful hill. So that's this week's. And big shout out to the old Hannah Banana again for doing these darn outdoor reports, for us, because by God, I just don't got the time. And I don't know what the hell I'm going to do when she goes back to work. So this is going to be a bit tricky. Anyways, that's this week's outdoor report. Well, folks, hope you got good information off of that. I know I did, as I always do. Thank God. Anyways, it always gets me thinking, how are we going to be self-sustaining on this hill? And there's many levels to that. There's gardening and all kinds of stuff. But this week cuts a little deeper and gets down to the base of it, is how we're going to sustain in America for the long term. And this week's thoughts for the shitter. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So, as I'm working, I listen to podcasts, right? Or as I'm going to work, I listen to the radio, KFBK, usually in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. That's all it's on. Anyways, so you sit there and you're driving to work and you start hearing about digital currency and everybody wanting to go to digital currency. By God, it'll be great. You don't have to worry about cash no more. Everybody will have it just right on their phone. It'll be so convenient. You don't have to worry about getting robbed. All this other stuff. And it just makes me think, what the heck are we thinking about if we're going to go to a digital currency? So, hear me out. If you're a big digital currency fan, and I'm not saying we shouldn't have digital currency as an option. But what I am saying is do not get rid of our cash. I mean, hell, they're already not printing the penny anymore. Come on, inflation, Jesus. But what I'm saying is cash is king, right? Or just things that are of value are king, right? Because currency on your damn telephone, if it's just in your bank account, it can all disappear with a freaking, with a glitch, right? It can all just go away. Now, they'll tell you that it can't. And then the government wants to make sure that Venmo and all these other cash trade apps, that they turn in, your stuff at the end of the year. So they tax you on that too, as if we don't get taxed enough with 13.3% in our freaking employment tax in the state of California, plus our federal tax and everything else that goes along with it. But the reason why I'm advocating for cash today is because what happens when you don't have a phone? What happens when you need to go buy a chicken from your neighbor or a vegetable or something to that nature? What happens when an EMP goes off and you no longer have the availability? Or, heaven forbid, we start being like Europe and all this other stuff, and you say something wrong on the internet that the freaking government doesn't like, and then they seize your bank account. So, just saying, digital currency, although it's a nice option, is probably not the best thing for your freedom. Because if you cannot hold something physically in your hand that has worth value to trade with somebody else, you're screwed. You are absolutely screwed. I don't care who you are. I don't care where you come from. That is not being very advantageous to your well-being and liberty. And I don't know. It's just something that I've been thinking about, and I hope all you are thinking about it too. And if I were you, I'd start squirreling cash away, gold, whatever you can, because it's not about convenient. And that's the other thing. convenience. What was it, Ben Franklin or Thomas Jefferson that said, he who trades liberty for security will end up having neither? And that's what you're doing with currency. That's what our country's doing with currency. So don't let your cash go away. Don't let your physical items go away, because that is your chance to freedom. And that's just something to ponder while you're dropping them off down yonder. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, my rant is over. And yeah, it just, gets me going every now and then. This is our hill to die. We need to be free here, ladies and gentlemen. We need to be free. But since nobody else has sent me any more nominations for a Sasquatch, again, oh, look at them dogs. Look at them dogs. Look at them dogs. Goddamn wild pack of coyotes. Anyway, we're going to continue on with our segment, Sasquatch Stories, in this week's Sasquatch. All right, folks, this week's Sasquatch story happens to have occurred on June 1st of 1987. Now, the whole story is not necessarily a Sasquatch story. It's just kind of part of it, how Sasquatch will sometimes get blamed. Sasquatch has been blamed for a lot of practical jokes over the years, and he's also been blamed for actually doing stuff. But this one, I don't think was actually the Sasquatch. Anyway, story goes like this. So on June 1st of 1987, a girl named Teresa Ann Beyer, she was 16 years old. She was from Fresno, California, decided to go with a guy named, what was his name? It was Skip. Yeah. Skip Welch, or Russell, nickname Skip, Welch, on a Sasquatch hunting adventure, or so he told everybody else. And this man was 43 years old, and they went up into the Bass Lake area, and then he came back down out of that area alone and claimed that Teresa had ran away. Now, it was weird because, they went up to around Shut-Eye Peak area, which is about roughly 25 miles northeast of Bass Lake, on this Sasquatch hunting adventure, which is still strange. But ladies and gentlemen, if you have a 16-year-old daughter, please don't let her just go with any 43-year-old man on a Sasquatch hunting adventure. Just don't do that. That would not be the thing. That would not be the thing to do. Now if the whole family's going and it's a whole event, okay, great. I get it. But a random, probably not the best. And I'm not saying that they let her. I'm just saying let's try to talk to our 16-year-old daughters or young daughters and say, hey, maybe a 43-year-old man on a Sasquatch hunting adventure. Of course, it was 1987, so, it was a different time. Just saying. Anyway, so old Skip reportedly said that Teresa was last seen at around 7:20 p.m. on June 1st. And he was supposedly looked around for her and couldn't find her. Now, the authorities didn't believe Skip's story because at first he said she ran away. And then he said they got separated. But then, and this is where the Sasquatch comes in, he said that Sasquatch had stolen her. Now, they did put Mr. Welch into custody, and but he was never brought up on murder charges or anything like that. He did get a, let's see, where is it? He did get accused, or not accused. He got it was like kidnapping or something like that. Where was it? I have it here somewhere. Yeah, anyway, so he did get convicted of like kidnapping or something to that nature, but he never did get convicted of killing her. And as far as I know, I don't think he's in jail, as from the evidence that I've been able to come up with. So the other crazy part is no trace of Teresa has ever been found. Nothing. Zero. Zilch. And so they could never convict Mr. Welch on anything of that nature. So, yeah, no confirmed trace has ever been found. No verified footprints, hair, DNA, photograph, or anything like that. And nothing to connect Bigfoot really to Teresa's disappearance. But he did claim that Bigfoot was the culprit, which I got to feel for Bigfoot on this one because he catches a bad rep sometimes, I mean, sometimes he's throwing rocks at people and stuff like that, but other times he's just out there minding his own business and somebody wants to put his name on disappearing a little girl. And probably Bigfoot probably likes little girls. Not in that sense, but still, you know what I mean? He's going to leave them alone. He's not throwing at them. So anyways, yeah, I think probably the strangest thing about this story, when it all's said and done with, is that somebody let a 16-year-old girl go with a 43-year-old man to go Sasquatch hunting. Or that a 16-year-old girl wanted to go with a 43-year-old man Sasquatch hunting. That is a little strange. But, like I always say, if you don't know, now you know. All right, ladies and gentlemen, hope you have a good week. Hope you have a good weekend. I hope you've been enjoying your summer so far. I know I have. I know my daughters are right now in Las Vegas with their mother. Hopefully they do some cool stuff. I really hope they do. And I hope all of you get out and touch some grass, go touch some soil, get some vitamin D, get a garden. Come by and get some cucumbers off my front porch. Something like that. Anyway, just saying. And Robert Francis, words of wisdom. As Confucius always says, he who has an itchy butthole has a smelly finger. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you on the next one.